Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. In the confines of all that exists, two beings of great powers were fighting in a battle to the death. These two powerful deities were the creator god Saikibura and his evil counterpart, the very negative creator god Yiki. Both subjects were having a very intense battle, which was destroying stars and galaxies. In that instant, Saikibura was able to have a vision, a powerful warrior which mixed the two most powerful genetics of all the multiverses were in the same individual name, Kakarot. Today I'll die, but I'll take you with me, brother. I won't let you do any damage until the Chosen One finishes you permanently.
What the hell are you saying? We're creator gods. There's no being that can face us.
Saikibura in that instant had separated 80% of his power, which a part of it would be sent to a dragon god named Zamara, and the other 40% to a Saiyan god, Saikibura, in that instant would embrace Yiki and perform a sacrifice technique, which did not require ki exactly. The price was much higher. The price to pay was his soul would disappear completely, not being part of hell or paradise. It was as if he had never existed. Millions of years had passed since that event, in which all the energy would continue to travel throughout the infinite universe. Nevertheless, Zarma had used a little of that power to rebuild the entire multiverse. However, 100 years later, the Chosen One was born. That is, at that moment, both energies had left the creator god, had entered, which came from the powerful god Zarma and the powerful legendary Ozaru. That's right, at that moment, a little boy named Kakarot would shake all the 12 universes. However, mortals were not able to feel his power. The only ones who were able to feel it were the angels and the beings of the kingdom of everything, since his power even surpassed the power of a destructive god.
Whose power is all this? I can't believe that a warrior with all this power exists. We've not noticed his presence. My lord, the power of this guy is so great that he would be able to end the lives of his guardians. Only you in your combat form and I are rivals.
I know that, Daishinken, so let's investigate who this power is about. Ask for reinforcements to all the angels and gods. We don't know who it is about.
Angels, go to planet 703 of the Universe 7, better known as the planet of the Saiyans. We don't know that individual gives off so much power.
All would leave towards the Universe 7, taking a matter of minutes to be a maximum alert. At that moment of arrival, the kings of everything would go to the place where such power was emanated. However, they were a little confused to observe a baby. However, next to the baby was a Saiyan. Daishinken quickly would be on guard because the power that was felt was incredible.
Who are you? And how do you have all that little battle power?
What are you talking about? I don't understand you at all. We have noticed the incredible power you've unleashed, so you better cooperate. Since we're here with all the gods, you don't stand a chance.
I'm not lying to you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Daishinken at that moment, without trusting himself at a great speed, would give a blow to Bardock, who would fall out of combat. Daishinken would be very confused of everything that happened. However, at that moment, all the 12 universes began to shake brutally. That's right, the baby boy who was in the incubator had moved a little, and by not controlling his power, even the entire Saiyan planet was involved in a great chaos. Daishinken at that moment would realize that the true bearer of all that power would be the little boy.
I can't believe this. Is that little child the being that's releasing such abominable power?
We will finish with that little child, because if just being a baby releases so much power, that child will be the annihilation of the entire multiverse.
Both Guardians would throw themselves against the incubator machine of the little Kakarot. Nevertheless, in that same instant, a surprising pressure would fall all over the place. That's right, in that same instant, a gigantic Ozaru of a silver color would appear. It would seem to be able to be observed from all the universes due to its bestial size. In that moment, it would begin to speak, leaving all those present surprised.
If you take one more step, I swear that I'll finish with each one of you. And now that you've finished with the life of my bearer, you'll be the salvation of this small multiverse.
All the divine beings had been surprised when they realized that the beast had spoken. However, the Guardians, without caring anything of what the Ozaru said, likewise began their attack. But it was the worst mistake they could make, because at that moment the Ozaru, at an incredible speed, would teleport behind each of them, and from its mouth would create spheres of energy, leaving no trace of both of them.
Does anyone else want to be eliminated? What are you supposed to be?
And how is it that all that power can be in the body of that little Saiyan boy?
I understand that you are the king of everything, but that's none of your business. You better leave this planet if you don't want me to finish you all off.
I won't let you treat me like this. I'm the king of everything, and I deserve respect. Let me see what you think of this damn beast. Zeno at that moment would begin to increase all his power, being able to surpass to his combat form. That's right, the powerful king of everything, Zeno-sama, was able to transform, and in the same way he would throw himself against the immense Ozaru. However, he would be surprised to hit him with all his strength, and only have been able to move a little the snout of the giant Ozaru.
Is that all you can do? Don't make me laugh. Oh, I thought the king of everything was a being of power, hard to reach, but you're nothing more than a poor worm.
The Ozaru at that moment would give him a powerful blow with one of his hands, making the king of everything return to his normal state. That's right, that beast was able to make the king lose his combat mode with a single blow.
I didn't end your pathetic life, because if a king of everything dies, the whole multiverse will die with him. So for that simple fact, I'll let you live. But if you threaten me again, I'll end this multiverse myself.
We understand that you have great power, but please, tell us what is that you're looking for in this multiverse? Knowing so much about multiverses, you must know that this is one of the weakest multiverses of all.
That's right. I know it's one of the weakest of all, but first, I need to recover all my power so I can save you all.
We're sorry for the offense we have put you through today, so we'll be leaving.
Wait a minute. I can see that you are really not have bad intentions. You only wanted to protect your multiverse, so I'll revive your guards.
In that instant, from the body of the little Kakarot would emerge a part of Zarma, which would make his eyes shine, bringing back to life both Guardians.
That will be all I will do for you on this occasion.
At that moment, the Ozaru as well as Zarma would disappear. At the same moment, Daishinka would approach Jine, Kakarot's mother.
We're sorry for everything that happened today. Your son will become a powerful warrior. It'll be your job and your education to give him if it becomes the destroyer of the multiverses or a savior.
I never thought that my little Kakarot would be so much power. And don't worry, we'll make sure that he becomes a warrior who will be able to protect all the others. At that moment, all the divine beings would leave to their respective planets. After approximately 20 years, which Kakarot had become a powerful warrior and had finished with the life of Frieza, when trying to destroy his planet on multiple occasions, Kakarot would begin to travel through each one of the multiverses. When Kakarot had the memories of the creator god Sekibura, he knew that he should become much more powerful to be able to face such a powerful god. My power is great, but compared to the other kings and subjects that exist in all the multiverses, I'm still too weak. After a few months of expedition, Kakarot would return again to his planet with the intention of training his father Bardock, because if he had a powerful partner, he could increase much faster his battle level. However, it was impossible. Bardock not being able to withstand even 1% of the power of Kakarot. However, at that precise moment, in his mind, he was able to observe his Ozaru.
Kakarot-sama, you can face the gods and angels, since they have divine power, but their power is great. Not compared to yours, but it'll be much more effective than training with your father.
I understand. That's what we'll do. Kakarot at that moment would say goodbye to his parents and would take course to the planet of Beerus. However, all the gods after the visit to the Saiyan planet 20 years ago all had trained, since they knew that if the child is revealed would be his end. However, even the great Zeno-sama, a beautiful angel, much more powerful than everything that exists, was very interested in Kakarot, since she has been watching him for some years. The power of that Saiyan grows more and more. I am impressed. With only 20 years, he has the necessary power to even defeat a king without even making any effort. Mikoshin would continue observing Kakarot. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, a strong rumble would make it shake. And at that moment, Beerus and Whis would approach where such a rumble had occurred. At the moment of arriving, both would notice the present Saiyan of Beerus would not recognize him just by observing him as a baby. However, Whis was able to recognize him, but before he speaks, Kakarot, with a much greater power, was able to make Whis not able to speak or even move a single one of his muscles, and would quickly communicate with Whis telepathically. I know that you know who I really am, but I want this guy to use all his power. And don't be afraid that he'll be eliminated, so you'll better not say anything at all. At that moment, Kakarot will decrease his pressure.
What the hell is a Saiyan doing on my planet? Don't you know that I am the most powerful god of destruction among the 12 gods? If I wanted to, I could finish you off in the blink of an eye. I want you to try, and see if you have enough power to at least make me bleed a little.
Beerus at that moment, in anger, would throw himself against Kakarot, who would decrease his power to 5% of all his power, to take damage and get a Zenkai. Beerus at that moment, with his maximum power, would give a great blow to Kakarot, which would make him fall to the ground very badly wounded.
What the hell? I didn't understand that the Destroyer God possesses so much power. The blow that I received hurt me too much, but this is what I wanted.
At that moment, Kakarot would stand up and with a battle pose would begin to fight with the Destroyer God of Universe 7. At that moment, both began with a great battle, destroying stars, planets, and galaxies. The Battle of Kakarot and Beerus would continue in its climax. That's right, the power of Beerus had surprised Kakarot, which did not imagine that Beerus would be so powerful. In the moment of the battle, Kakarot was able to end it by increasing his power to 25%. However, to his surprise, Beerus was able to dodge the blow that almost knocked him out of combat.
For a Saiyan, you are very powerful. You're worthy of observing 100% of all my power. So let's see what you can do against it.
At that moment, Beerus would begin to raise its power to the maximum. Even his appearance was changing. That's right, the power of Beerus was even shaking the entire Universe 7. At that moment of a great explosion of energy, Hawkeye could be observed Beerus in his new transformation, which would leave surprised Kakarot. Beerus at that moment would be launched against Kakarot. Goku was not able to dodge his powerful blow because he was only transformed into Super Saiyan. At that moment, Kakarot, knowing that even with all his ordinary transformations, he would be no match for that god, would begin to increase his power, accessing the Super Saiyan Blue. That's right, at that moment, Kakarot with a serious look would stand in front of Beerus.
You turned out to be a worthy opponent, so I'll show you my power.
Kakarot and Beerus at that same instant would disappear from the whole place, starting to move at a great speed, starting to disintegrate every planet in the universe. That's right, when colliding with their blows were so powerful that they were not able to neutralize them completely. Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she was equally very surprised to realize how a God Destroyer possessed all that great power.
This is incredible! Zeno-sama's multiverse has increased in power in an amazing way. I can't believe how much power they have achieved in such a short period of time.
Meanwhile, in the realm of the whole, Daishinken was also watching the battle, being a little amazed at the power Beerus had obtained.
The god power Beerus had increased in an incredible way. He should be considered a supreme god. He has the power to back it up.
At that moment, one of the guards would approach Daishinken.
Daishinken, you are still watching the battle of that Saiyan? I don't know how a god was able to match him. If at that moment he was born, he was able to make everything around him tremble. I don't know, but his power doesn't compare to the moment of his birth. How strange.
What they did not know was that Kakarot's power was hidden. That's right, Kakarot only used what was necessary so that the other beings would not know his true battle level. Returning to the battle of both, Beerus and Kakarot were a little injured. However, at that moment, Kakarot would give a big smile and laugh.
You really are a powerful god. You've earned my respect. I, the most powerful Saiyan of all the universes, recognize you as a worthy opponent. What do you mean by this? Are you giving up? Of course not. In this instant, I'll demonstrate to you the power of which you'll not be able to surpass, no matter how hard you try.
Kakarot in that same instant would access to Ultra Instinct. That's right, in the same moment, Kakarot, with a powerful and accurate hit, was able to make Beerus fall to the ground, losing his transformation and being out of combat. Angel of the Universe 7 Whis, I thank you for keeping my secret and excuse my behavior. I know that maybe you don't trust me, but a danger is approaching. Don't worry, Kakarot-sama. All the divine beings have given you the vote of confidence. Be sure that you'll not regret it. I'll do whatever it takes to protect this multiverse that I love so much. Kakarot in that moment would leave it to an inhospitable place of all the Universe 7. That's right, Kakarot would begin to meditate, since for beings who broke the laws of power, it was of utmost importance to meditate. After a while on the planet of Beerus, he would wake up a little confused by everything that had happened. Whis, what happened? Was I defeated? That's right, Mr. Beerus. The Saiyan named Kakarot defeated you. I can't believe I lost to a puny Saiyan. This can't be a damn nightmare. Of course not, Mr. Beerus. You lost to the best. I know you don't remember, but you just fought the Saiyan that was born 20 years ago. Was I able to fight against that gigantic power? That's right, Mr. Beerus. It seems that your power has grown so incredibly, you were able to face that powerful god and was even able to be recognized him. This only motivates me to become much more powerful. I won't fall so far behind that Saiyan. I want to have a rematch and defeat him in the next one. Meanwhile, in a place far away from all the multiverses, one of Yiki's subordinates had awakened when he felt the essence of the protagonist god. Well, well, this seems very interesting to me. That's the power of a creator god. Better go and investigate. At that moment, a guy with horns on his head would stand up and at an impressive speed would begin to head towards the multiverse of Zeno-sama at an impressive speed that no king at all would be able to perceive it. Meanwhile, on the same planet, Bardock was also training because he didn't want to be so far behind the power that his son had. I know that I was not born with great genetics of my son, but even if it costs me 100 times more to increase my power, I'll make it an effort. Bardock at that time would begin to train to increase his power and be of help if a new enemy approaches the planet. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Zeno-sama, for 10 years ago, had not given signs of his life. That's right, Zeno-sama had suffered such defeat, was very bad, and for 10 years Zeno-sama entered one of the rooms of the Kingdom of Everything, and nothing was known about him until today. That is, Zeno-sama at that moment would come out of that room, but the power he gave off was extremely unreal. At that moment, even the High Priest would fall to his knees on the floor. What is this pressure? Has a new enemy appeared? At that moment, Zeno-sama will decrease all his pressure, making everyone present in the whole realm able to move freely. Don't worry, it was only my pressure, because I'm not able yet to control, but you must all increase your power because something very negative is on its way to this multiverse. What do you mean by that, Zeno-sama? One thing that Ozaru is right about is our multiverse is under an incredible threat. I don't understand, Zeno-sama. The Guardians like me are trained to become much more powerful. Alright, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll try not to let my multiverse be annihilated. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, which still possessed a little of the essence of a creator god, a subordinate named Reik had arrived in front of both deities. However, unlike when Kakarot arrived to the planet, this time an incredible pressure seemed to be suffocating them since they could not even breathe. At that moment, Beerus would access his combat form, relieving the pressure, as well as Whis would increase his power to the maximum. Do some simple gods want to confront me? Beings that don't step on the ground of a king at all believe that they are capable of facing me. Reik at that moment, at a great speed, would begin a fight with both deities, which had no chance because the power of that god was in another dimension. At that precise moment, Beerus would charge a large sphere of Hakai energy, which Reik would disintegrate with a single one of his fingers. This is incredible. The power of that guy is even greater than that of Kakarot-sama. Reik at that moment took the battle a little more seriously and started to beat them both. That's right, the power of his blows was so powerful that even the whole planet was destroyed. After a few exchanges of blows, Beerus and Whis were in troubled conditions, and they were not able to continue the battle. I'll spare your life if you give me information about everything I want to know. I'll not say anything for a being that releases pure evil from within. Wrong answer, God.
I hope you're prepared to die, as this'll be the end of you.
At that moment, Reich was about to end Beerus' life. A powerful blow would send him flying through a few mountains and trees. At that very moment, Kakarot would take Beerus in his arms.
You did well, Beerus. Now you can rest. Thank you, Whis, for communicating with me. Now they're safe.
Be careful, Kakarot-sama. This guy's powerful is incredible.
Don't worry about me. I'll end the life of this wretch.
Kakarot at that moment would stretch one of his hands, being able to wrap both in a large sphere of energy, which both would begin to heal their wounds and recover each of their powers. At that moment, Reich would return to the battlefield, since the blow that Kakarot had given him contained an absurdly unreal power.
Who are you? How do you have so much power?
You've been able to cause me a little damage.
The only thing you should know is that I'm the one in charge of ending your miserable life.
Whis, you must do something. Kakarot's power and mine are equal, so he will be no match for him. I don't know, Mr. Beerus, but the power that Kakarot gives off this time is much stronger than the one he fought with you. Reich at that moment would throw himself against Kakarot, who was able to stop the blow, but it had been very difficult. At that moment, both subjects began to fight at a speed never seen before in this multiverse. Kakarot at that moment would throw a great sphere to the sky, creating a barrier so that no one else feels his powers. You think that sealing me will be enough? I'm the subordinate of the Creator God.
I sealed you so that you won't have any other allies be able to interfere, because including you, there are 7 more of Yiki's subordinates.
So, you're the damned one who possesses the power of the Creator God Sekibora. You have my job much easier. Here I'll be able to kill you without you having the chance to escape.
I'm now locked up with you. You're locked up with me. So I hope you're ready, because I'll use all my power, and nothing and nobody will be able to save you.
Kakarot at that moment began to increase his power to the maximum, accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 3 with the Ultra Instinct. That's right, the power that Kakarot was releasing was so much that even Beerus and Whis would be very surprised. But at that moment, Kakarot would pass to his Ozaru form, leaving everyone much more surprised.
What the hell? How is he able to turn into that gigantic monkey?
From what I understand, the Saiyans have the ability to transform as long as they see the full moon.
I hope you're ready for your end, because with this body, I'm able to finish you with a single blow.
If your body increased so much in size, your speed will decrease too much. Right at that moment would begin to give him a rain of blows, but to his surprise, the Ozaru would dodge each one of his blows.
Let's see what you think of this. Release of the King of Beasts, Ozaru Creator.
At that moment, a pentagram and a seal would be formed all over the place, being completely destroyed and beginning to increase its power much more, making all the universes tremble. Kakarot, such a moment, would continue increasing his power in an incredible way. So much was its bestial power that it would make even Reich retreat. However, at that moment, a gigantic Ozaru would appear in front of everyone, begin to fight with that guy. However, this time, at the time of colliding their fists, the difference in power was totally clear. Kakarot, having much more destructive power, was able to cause much more damage to Reich. After only 10 minutes of battle, in which Reich was very badly injured, he was furious. Not having the necessary power to end the life of that simple mortal, from his viewpoint, Kakarot was just another worm. Damn it, if you're only the same size as me, I'd be able to finish you off.
You're wrong. Even if I were your own size, you wouldn't be able to fight me.
What do you say we give it a try? Or are you afraid?
An existence like me will never be afraid of it being as weak as you.
Kakarot at that moment began to transform into Super Saiyan Phase 4. That's right, Kakarot, instead of returning to its base state, had evolved once again. The transformation he had obtained would leave surprised Whis and Beerus. Was he holding back in all battle? Even unleashing all his beastly power, it doesn't compare to the power with which he was born. Is that Saiyan so much more powerful, but he's limiting you to using a certain part of his power? That's something hard to believe.
For now, we're the same size. What do you say we end this battle once and for all?
I agree with you. Now I can finish you with a single blow. Reich at that moment, at an amazing speed that not even Whis was able to observe, had given a shrapnel of blows to Kakarot, which would send him flying into a lake, and without warning, he would charge a large sphere of energy, which would disintegrate all the water in the lake.
What do you think of that, simple mortal? You're stupid to return to your normal state.
It seems that today we will die, since the power of Kakarot-sama has disappeared. However, at that moment, a loud rumble would be felt all over the planet Dbs, and at that moment, Kakarot would be seen shaking his chest where he had received such a powerful blow.
Was that all your power? The only thing you have done was to disappoint me. You don't have the power to even make me bleed.
Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she was very surprised to witness a part of Kakarot's power. That's right, his power was a power that, even for her, would be difficult to face. But she also wondered, who was that guy named Reich? This is very strange. That guy has a very strange energy. Returning to the battlefield, Kakarot at that moment, with a serious look, would stand in front of Reich at lightning speed.
I'm the Saiyan with the legendary power Ozaru and the dragon god Zarma, who will end the life of Zyeki, and I will start with you.
Reich at that moment, with fear, would begin to attack desperately to Kakarot, but each of his attacks were in vain, because if they hit Kakarot, they had no effect. At that moment, Reich regretted having gone to that planet, because he knew he was going to die.
I know that you'll end my life, but I will not go to the other world alone.
Reich at that moment began to increase his power much more. Even his whole body began to spurt absurd amounts of blood. That's right, Reich was surpassing the limit of his body. At that moment, Reich would take Kakarot strongly with the intention of exploding.
I think it's honorable that you'll give your life to finish me. Divine body of steel, heavenly protection, divine bomb.
At that moment, a big explosion was able to be seen all over the place. Even the barrier that Kakarot had put had cracked a little. In the sky, you could see Reich very badly wounded on the verge of death.
The power of that bastard was really scary. I better get out of this place. I knew it'd be a very honorable act for a being like you. That little explosion was able to cause a few tickles all over my body.
What the hell are you? You can't be an ordinary being. Even we, who are born with the gift of possessing Creator Key, are not able to come out of an explosion like this without a scratch.
I'm not the same as you. I'm 100 times better than you. So now die!
Kakarot at that instant would stretch his hand, throwing a great sphere of Hawkeye energy, which would disintegrate Reich, leaving no trace of it. In that moment, Kakarot would stop concentrating energy in the field that protected Beerus and Whis.
Kakarot-sama, did you hold back in all battle? My power is to protect you. It's not to hurt you or to finish you. The only thing we did was have a great training.
I understand, Kakarot-sama, but rest assured that I'll become a very powerful being and soon I'll defeat you.
I'll be waiting for that moment with eagerness.
Kakarot at that moment, he was about to leave, would fall out of combat and return to his base state. That's right, although Kakarot did not show it, his body was in pieces. When using the power of the legendary Ozaru, his body was so heavy and dense that it was able to break each of his energy veins. At that moment, Beerus and Whis would take Kakarot to a room where he could rest. Meanwhile, with the 7 subordinates of the negative creator god, all of them would feel how Reich's vital energy had disappeared.
Reich's power has disappeared. A warrior seems to have the necessary power to finish with one of us. We must be attentive, because this is war.
Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, in a special room of the same form, Daishenkin, together with the Guardians of Zeno-sama, were training in a very bloody way. That's right, all the warriors wanted to strengthen their bodies as the hardened metal of all their universes.
We have been in this place for about 3 months, and I'm still not able to get used to this pressure.
We don't know how the King of Everything was able to endure all this for 10 years. Meanwhile, Zeno-sama, he was meditating to be able to control all his power at 100%. That's right, Zeno-sama had no longer returned to his base state. Now at all times he was transformed and ready for combat.
We must be ready for the war that's approaching. Even though I have all this power, I don't feel prepared. The danger that's approaching is of another level.
Returning to the planet Dbs, Kakarot would continue out of combat and had already approximately 2 weeks since that great battle, in which Kakarot would continue out of combat. Nevertheless, inside himself, Kakarot was able to observe Zalma. Kakarot, you've grown up a lot, and this is the first time I have met you. You are the chosen one to be the creator god, so don't disappoint us.
The power that sleeps inside you is a power that even capable of making the so-called creator gods tremble with fear. You're the salvation of this multiverse.
I'll not let you down. I'll save this multiverse, even if it costs me my life. I swear I'll do it. Meanwhile, on the planet of Zeno-sama, he was very thoughtful because despite having all that bestial power, he was not prepared. However, at that very moment, a door of the Kingdom of Everything had opened after hundreds of thousands of years. That's right, from this room, a guy released a great power.
Wow, after so many years, a being has awakened the interest of my battle instinct again. This is something that does not happen every day.
At that moment, that subject would increase his power a little, making it difficult for even the King of Everything, Zeno-sama, to breathe. At that moment, Zeno-sama would create a barrier around his body, being able to move freely.
Whose power is this? It's a power that at the top of everyone's list.
Meanwhile, in a faraway place, Mikoshin had felt the power of Zeldris, and she would recognize it quickly as she had fought with it in the past. But if this is the appearance of Zeldris, how the hell did he break free from the seal of a king at all? This is bad. Returning to the realm of a whole, Zeno, at that instant, would stand in front of the subject.
Who are you? And how can you be in my castle without me noticing your wretched presence? I have more respect, since this castle was mine before it was yours.
Zeno-sama would be very surprised by the words that Zeldris had said to him.
Well, having spent millions of years asleep, I think I'll stretch my muscles with you. I hope you're powerful and do not disappoint me.
Zeldris at that moment, with an incredible speed, would begin to beat the King of Everything, who despite being able to clearly see his blows, was not able to react. After 3 minutes of battle in which Zeno-sama had received all the beating of his life, he was able to move away a little and release all his power, leaving Zeldris surprised due to the power he released. Even Mikoshin, who was heading to Zeno-sama's planet. Meanwhile, at Beerus' planet, Kakarot had already regained consciousness and was able to stand up again.
You're kind of a tough guy. Let's see how you like the true power of a king at all.
Zeno-sama at that moment began to increase his power so much, which was able to create a big explosion due to all the power he was releasing. At the moment of finishing, Zeno-sama at an incredible speed would throw himself against Zeldris, which was not able to dodge a strong blow in his face, being completely sent to fly to a planet. At that moment, Zeno-sama would begin to give him a shrapnel of blows, moving at a great speed throughout the universe.
Receive this, punishing sword of gods, spiritual destroyer.
A great sword would begin to descend from all over the universe. At that moment of hitting Zeldris, he would use his sword in the same way, starting an incredible clash of weapons. After 2 minutes, a strong explosion would be created all over the place. That's right, the collision was not able to withstand so much energy. However, at that precise moment, Zeno-sama, without wasting time, would rush again against Zeldris, who was very badly wounded.
Damn it. The power of this guy even surpasses the power of Zaiku-sama, who is the most powerful king of everything.
However, at that moment, an incredible pressure would fall on the entire universe. That's right, Kakarot had awakened and had a powerful Zenkai, with which he even made both subjects tremble. Kakarot was again passing to his Ozaru form, but this time the power he gave off was so much that even left surprised all the deities of the multiverse Zeno-sama. Even Mikoshin, which was going through the megaversal barriers, was pulled to the ground by that great pressure. That boy's power is incredible. He's advancing so fast that it's hard to believe he's still a mere mortal. But something that everyone was confused about was that Kakarot was not a mortal. He was destined to become the most powerful Saiyan creator god of all time, and to end the life of Yiki. The gigantic Ozaru at that moment would give a loud roar, and from a sphere of energy you could see Goku in his most powerful phase so far.
I'm ready for battle.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.